Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday, 16th of October. It's Talking Town, the flagship podcast. I'm, of course, your host, The Gov, sat here after, sadly, a 1-0 home defeat to Lincoln. We're going to try and break it down for you. But before we go too far into the show, please do hit that like button if you are watching on YouTube, or whether you're watching on Facebook. Hit the like button, hit something that lets the algorithm know that you are enjoying the content that we are creating. Heck, even if you see something you don't like, hit the dislike button. It still tells the algorithm that somebody's interacting with it. Of course, if you're new here, hit subscribe. And if you're listening on our podcast platforms, thank you very much for choosing Talking Town in your ears. Please do a 5-star review. Right, we've got the live comments coming in. I'm going to get the lads' thoughts for the first half hour or so of the show. Then we're going to throw it open, throw that link out, see if anybody wants to come on their platform to have their say in their own words, following what was a very frustrating and disappointing result yesterday. Before I go to the league table and some match stats, yes, the Gov will do some match stats. Ailey Croucher, good afternoon, everyone. Disappointed with the loss yesterday, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. Gina says, true, Ailey, but was hoping for a special October with no defeats. Hope at the end of next weekend we are still in second position. EJ, good afternoon. I hope you're well. He's still gutted about yesterday. Yeah, I'm still particularly pissed off about yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I've gone for a walk around the park. I've fed the ducks. I've got to get something nice for dinner today. And I'm just still a little bit peed off. I'm going to be honest. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you and the lads have got to say about yesterday. You can't win them all. But the same old vulnerabilities, the same old problems there for Ipswich Town Football Club. Roy Clark, very concerned about we started so slowly yesterday. We need to hit teams hard in the first half and get goals early to stop visiting teams getting a goal and shutting up shop. Good point. Matt Stano's here. Welcome in, Matt. Mike D, lots of you. Love it. Get the chat busy as you like. Let's get lots and lots of comments flying in. Lee is absolutely gutted. I'm going to bring in the lads on a question that we received from Kel on Facebook. Thank you, Kel. He says, today, I hope you ask the boys why Town are such slow starters. The kickoff is at 3 o'clock, not 4.
Somebody get the tables. Hard truth are here. Delivering the truth that nobody wants to hear. The Cruncher and the Media Mogul.
Here they are, the Driscoll brothers back in town. Kel, why do we start so slowly? Kickoff's at 3, not 4, Mr. Moss. He's got a point, to be fair.
Well, I think if you were on the away side yesterday, Martin, I think it was just had a mouthful of biscuit.
Good for you.
Maryland cookies. Other biscuits are available.
I whitened my teeth on those once, you know. I ate so many. That's a different story, different day.
There you go. If you're Mark Kennedy, 20 minutes in, I think there was a stop for a foul, and they all come over for a drinks break. Like they do now.
Yeah.
All congregate. It's a sort of mini sort of timeout, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
If you're him, you're a visiting boss, Martin, you're going to say, right, we've got to 20 minutes. They've not laid a glove on us. The crowd are quiet. They were well on their way to doing the job, weren't it? We were so slow, so insipid. You know, a lot of side-to-side passing. It's like Kieran said after the game. We weren't brave on the ball, Martin, in that first half. I don't know what the passing stats are. I think we had nearly over 600 passes, Matt, in that game yesterday. But a lot of it was in areas where it was back to, like you said, Martin, the asthmatic snail under Paul Lambert. You know, stat padding. Right. You're keeping the ball, you're passing it, but you're going nowhere. You know, and in the end, they got the goal. We'll probably go through that. Another goal from a set piece, which I think's turning into a little bit of an Achilles heel for us. Second half, we got going. I think there was a spell there for 20 minutes when the crowd really got involved. And I think if we score them, Martin, I think we go on and win the game. But we didn't. And
we didn't.
I think sometimes we have to give the opposition credit. Lincoln yesterday, set up, spot on, tactically spot on. I'll tell you another thing, they were fit. A lot of these teams 70 minutes when we make the changes, we blow these teams away.
Yeah.
They stayed with us. They were disciplined. The number 5, was it Jackson, I think, at the back with a beard, Matt?
Yep.
Outstanding, man of the match. So hats off to Lincoln, but we're all Town fans and we're disappointed. And like we said yesterday, I think after the show, it's a disappointing defeat, and you can't afford to have too many Lincoln City performances if you want to be up there challenging, because it's going to be tight. I know Pompey are 4th in their
3 games in hand.
They've got 3 games in hand. So come the end of the season, when it's like a point here and a point there, you might look back on a game like this and think, well, yeah. Even if we'd have got a draw yesterday, Matt, them last 10 minutes, nick a goal there, take a point. I know we're not happy, we want to win the game, but sometimes take the point, don't lose the game, and move on. But we didn't, and we just weren't good enough yesterday.
Great points there. Andy says, Matt, unacceptable result. We want to be promoted. Mike D said they didn't have their boiled chicken, Matt. A good breakdown from Rich. How do you see, before we really unpack it, how you're feeling today about it all? Because I'm still, like I said at the start of the show, I've done the ducks, I've done the walk. I'm still pissed off. I'm still knocked off.
Really? You're taking it that badly? I'm not taking it that badly, to be honest with you. Disappointed to be lost, obviously. But I think it's nice just to have a bit of a reality check for all the fans, because I do think we've got into this culture, and it's probably, it's probably a thing that does happen when you suddenly hit the top 2 and you've had 1 defeat in how many it was. I do think there's a little feeling that we just got to rock up and we'll win the game. And we were saying before the game started, when I was in the stadium, to the guys that sit around me, and they were saying it was up 2-3, friends, 2-3-0. I was like, well, yeah, I'd agree with that, but you just don't know what might happen, do you? We're not great from set pieces. The referee could have a mare, give them a pen. We could score an own goal. You just don't know, do you? And I think yesterday, again, highlighted the fact that our kryptonite right now is defending set pieces. And I see people have mentioned it here, and Richard's mentioned it. Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday was one. Morecambe was one. Barnsley at home was another. So that's the issue.
I was talking to Carl Brooks this morning, guys, and he hit the nail on the head. And I agree. We're not aggressive enough, Matt, in both boxes, right? So you look at the goal yesterday, it's a poor corner. Then it's gone up in the air. We ain't won the first ball. Yeah. Donatian is dreaming, switched off for the second ball. But if you flip it around, we had 14 corners yesterday night, didn't we?
Yep, we did. Yeah.
How many times did we win that first header in the box?
Not enough. And I don't mind the occasional cutback, cute little corner either. But when it's repeatedly done, it's almost a little bit like if you self-scout Ipswich Town, you are going to find out that a majority of their corners are little chips into that edge of the 18-yard box for a volley or a header. It's cute, it's lovely when it comes off, but you've got to vary it a little bit. You've got to have a little bit of variation to how you deliver it, how you attack it. These are the stats from yesterday's game: 76 possession, 33 shots, 5 on. This all looks rather wonderful, Matt. But I'm a little bit peed off today because for me, it's the same vulnerability of Ipswich Town Football Club at home. You park a National Express coach, we still, despite having another transfer window, despite being now 11 or 12 games into the campaign, we are showing teams we still struggle to move the ball quickly enough to break you down. Because yesterday, for me, again, you just had too many touches. I was screaming for 2 touch passes a move. It didn't need 4, 5, 6, 7 touches that Wolfenden or Evans or Morsey or whoever wanted to have on the football. You needed to move it quicker, and we never do. And for me, that's why I'm a bit pissed off, because that hasn't changed from last year, from the summer, from 3 weeks ago. It's just we're not learning how to break a team down that is 0-0 or 1-0.
Yeah, we said that. We said this last season. And in the summer, what's the big learning for McKenna going to be? Still as a rookie manager, and we did say, how do you combat a team that just comes to get a point and break them down? And we've got, we were lucky with Cambridge in that we made the subs and they had a great impact. I think we'll probably come to this in a minute. I don't think the subs had a particularly great impact yesterday. But yeah, but he's still, McKenna's still a rookie manager. He's still learning. Like, if you don't win the game, you're going to learn from it, aren't you? And he did say, we've got to see how we start the game quicker. But I do think we have to give, and people are doing it in the comments, Rich. People are giving Lincoln credit. They defended well. They pressed us. We don't seem to deal very well with a press, do we?
No.
And that's why I think it looked slower than probably what it was, because they packed the midfield, and I think the two lads they had up top, House and Diamond, was it? Whenever
Yeah.
Wolfenden or Donastian got the ball, and that's when you started seeing the padding. There was no creativity there to be able to get through their lines a little bit. And, you know, that's the blueprint to beat Ipswich now. Everyone would have seen that now.
You mentioned there, you know, give Lincoln credit, and you actually have got to. But I don't want to, because I'm sick and tired of sitting in this chair after defeat and going, I'll give this team credit. They came with a game plan. They sat in, they dug in.
Friday, you said? It's only Lincoln.
Hey, and for the first 25, 35 minutes, the players played like that. That was the biggest issue. The players played like they'd been listening to the Gov on Friday say, it's only Lincoln.
So did the crowd, though. So did the crowd. Now, Richard Chandler, I think he was on Twitter this morning saying the atmosphere was excellent. I thought it was flat as a pancake yesterday.
Yeah,
I think that was another thing that the fans turned up and we thought, we're just going to roll this lot over. Poor old Mark Dowling, Matt. He's come. He could have put a DVD on of the Cambridge game from last year when he attended and watched it at home, because it was exactly the same. Cambridge, Cheltenham, you know, last season, and we're still here. Look, this is one game. Let's not get too carried away. But 33 shots, Martin. We've only managed to hit the target 5 times. Get them out on the training field. Get TC down there, and let's have TC's Friday drill. Come on.
TC body and paint.
I think you've got. But again, that was Lincoln blocking a lot, wasn't it? Led by that Adam Jackson, the number.
It's just concerning that if you suffocate the number 10s, you suffocate Ipswich Town. That's what it seems like at the moment. And Chaplin and Harness.
Bobby Robson didn't stop.
It's strange because when you're in the middle of the atmosphere, it's going to sound really loud, but to everybody else, it
wasn't loud. I turned to David, who sits next to me, and I said, "Get a chant going, Dave." I think the Bobby Robson stand stopped. This when we went to go down. It was that's the time when I think a packed crowd becomes your 12th man, right?
Yeah,
the home crowd becomes your. But it goes quiet. But then you only have to look back to the Robson era, where he said the fans were like zombies when they were losing. It's always been like that at Pullman Road, I think.
We spoke about it on Friday's show for those that were with us. It's a little bit of expectation, a little bit of you turning up. You're almost saying, right, I'm here now. You show me why I need to be here again. And I think, you know, as Town fans, we're almost conditioned. Everyone I spoke to before the game was confident, but also saying, where is this road bump going to come from? Because this is Ipswich Town Football Club. Nothing is smooth sailing. Nothing's a plain A14 style 70-mile-an-hour car journey. There's going to be a bump in the road somewhere. Yeah. Is this it? And it was. And it was the bump in the road. And it is one game. You mustn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, Rich. But it's just same old issues rearing their head.
Coupon buster, 10-1 Lincoln to win yesterday.
Yeah.
And you do see these results. You do see these results in every single league. You'll look at the results on a Saturday and think, blimey, they went there and turned them over.
Yep.
So you'll have your Plymouths, your Pompeys, your Sheffield Wednesday. Somewhere along the line, they'll probably lose a game this season, and we'll all sit up and think, blimey, they lost to them. But it does happen, but it can't happen many times, Martin. It cannot happen many times. You can say, look, one game. If you have it, look, if we played that game probably another 9 times, we'd probably win that game. With that amount of pressure, it was like everything they blocked, it fell to one of theirs, which, look, listen, fair play to them, they put their bodies on the line. And sometimes you do need that little ricochet, like the goal against Pompey, the winner there, you know, when Edwards crossed it and it's flicked off the defender. But you do make your own luck.
You do need to shoot, though. You can't have a shootout without firing a bullet, Matt. And yesterday, we seemed gun shy.
Well, I don't think we were particularly. It's just that the chances that fell ended up in the top tier of the stands, didn't it?
It opened itself up, and you think, now's your chance. Now you just need to have a shot. And it was another sidewards pass. Try and recreate a better angle. You need to occasionally say, put tempo, you know, because it could be a shin pad that comes off. It could be someone, you know, the keeper spills it and your striker's following up. You don't, like yesterday, 33 chances, Matt. I'm struggling to really think of too many clear-cut chances.
Harness was a good one, yeah.
You know, people this morning are criticising Big Fred. I don't know if this system is really set up for a striker to get that many goals, because yesterday, did he have a sniff?
Interesting. If you pop over to Twitter on tomorrow, I've got a poll running in a minute. Like, do Town need a 20? Basically, do Town need a 20-goal a season striker, right? We've nearly had 1,000 votes, but it's split right down the middle, Martin. A lot of people saying we do. A lot of people saying we don't. Now, for me, football, if you look at the teams who win trophies, they'll have someone who's scoring over 20 goals. I know, look, Haaland, Man City, Ronaldo at Man United. You know, these teams, Lewandowski, Kane at Spurs. I know Tottenham don't win anything. That's just Spurs. But last season, you got Michael Smith at Rotherham. What did he get, Matt? 25 goals?
And he had a bit of a blip for a couple of months.
Will Keane, 25 goals?
Yeah.
So to say that you strike it, doesn't matter if he doesn't score, for me, it's absolute nonsense. Your number 9 is on that pitch. Yeah, he can make space for your 10s and whatever. But we need someone who, in that box, the ball drops to him, and 9 times out of 10, he's going to hit the target. He might not score. I don't see that with Ladapo. I don't see it with him.
No,
you know?
Possibly.
Yeah. What does he bring to the team? What sort of striker is he? Can anybody tell me?
I think that's a bit harsh, Rich, to be honest, because striker's only as good as the service he's going to get. And we've already said, first half, too slow. No one took a chance. No one actually gave him an opportunity. Second half, that's when we had the majority of all those chances, wasn't it? Then he gets taken off. Then you start seeing the balls in the box. And as the guy said to me, Kevin, the guy sits the other side to me, said yesterday, this is where we need Ladapo now. Now the ball's going into the danger area.
Exactly.
How many times, though, do we flash the ball across that box and there's no one to put it in?
No, because the movement's not quite good enough, or the ball's not quite good enough, you know. But I sat there yesterday, I felt we were gun shy. Then you look at the stats and you go, wow, okay, 33 shots. You can't possibly have been gun shy. So I must be, feeling we could have had 73 shots with the amount of opportunities we perhaps carved out. And then there's, 5 shots on target.
Why is Haaland so good? A, he's a fantastic striker, but B, he gets the service. He's not running past 3-4 defenders, Maradona 86 style, and putting it in, is it? He gets the service in the box. He's just there and then. Ladapo did not get the service today. He didn't have a great game either, but he's not going to have a great game if he doesn't get any service. It's a chicken and egg for him, I think.
But our strikers, when the shake-up comes into the season, I think we'll dip in January anyway.
We should have done it already.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. Like you said, you've got your Waitrose left back. Where are we shopping? They're all frees. This is what gets you out of this league. I know Colin in the chat is on about Clark Harris, and probably Peterborough wouldn't have sold him.
No,
we had the finances in the summer to get. Look, I know there's no guarantee someone's going to get 20 goals, Matt. We got Joe Pigott last season, but
yes,
I would have been shopping in the Championship for someone who's going to put the ball 9 times out of 10 in the back of the net. And at the minute, look, let's not be too critical, Martin. I think we're still second top scorers in the league.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think fourth. I think we're about 4th or 5th overall in the country. So
we are, and we should be, because you've got a bigger budget than most teams in this division. So when I hear stats like that, and go, we should be like we're all having a great time at the moment. This is what League One was supposed to be like for Ipswich Town.
Can you just put Lee Anderson's comment up about Connor Chaplin?
Yeah. There you go. Chaplin
didn't get in the box yesterday, Lee. He didn't get in the box. That's where he does his damage. I've said it on here before. You look at Chaplin's goals, guys. Where does he get them, Matt? They're in and around the box. One touch, bang. How many times was he actually in the penalty area yesterday?
Yeah. I think, let's not get too carried away, right? We've played nearly 50 games in the league. There's going to be blips. It's just that we didn't see it coming yesterday, did we? We just didn't see the pothole yesterday. But I did a little bit of research last night on the train back. I did. Thinking out, considering Wigan and Rotherham ran away with it last season with MK just behind them, what were they at 14 games? Wigan had 28 points and 4 defeats. Lost to Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday, Lincoln and MK, so we'd be ahead of them right now. And Rotherham was 14 games, 25 points, 3 defeats. Fleetwood.
I don't agree with Matt Stannard's comment there. I don't agree with him. We had the money, Matt, to go and get a top striker. We didn't want to go and sign a lad who played well against us for Burton. He's a project, Martin, at Hadley. He's injured at the minute, but he is. You've taken a punt on him.
He's a bit of a punt. I do agree. Go on, Mike.
I just want to come back to your point in a second. I just think it's such a feel-good factor at the football club right now, and that needs to be continued. It's one blip, it's one bump in the road.
Yeah.
But longer term, when you're looking back with Harry hindsight, are you going to say they chased Hurst all summer and then had no plan B? Because it does, doesn't it? Right now, looks like you chased the striker that you wanted all summer long, then was told no.
You've got the much talked about dashboard, where was plan B,
if this was Marcus Evans, people would be telling me right now there was no plan B with the recruitment because they chased Hurst and they ended up with Burton striker who is a project. That's what it looks like.
That's rubbish about Johnson Clark Harris. He's 28. We'd never get the money back. Who gives a toss? It's just about getting out of this division.
Well, it is. So in January, that's when we'll see,
Yeah.
you know, the dashboard come into its own. Ashton do what Ashton does best. And I'm just saying, you know, I wonder, you know, in a snapshot in time, when you look back in a year, 2 years, end of the season, whether you look back and go like Freddie Sears, when you do with Mick, do you go, that probably wasn't the right situation? We could have brought somebody in. We didn't have the ducks lined up, etc. Or do you like and go, we were worrying unnecessarily and things clicked into place? You won't know that until come May, Matt, but you're doing your research, so you carry on, my man.
Yeah, I mean, look, that just shows you what a good start we've had. We've got the points in the bank to be able to take a defeat like this. And, you know, Wigan and Rotherham ran away with the league in the end. And, you know, they'd be well
Hear any
below
noises
us.
in the background? It's just a dog being sick, by the way.
Normally, I want to know why I'm so fucking huge today on this screen. I look like I'm a giant. I look like I've gained weight over the last 24 hours. I mean, I have comfort eated. I've comfort eated. I mean,
you get it all on this show. Animals throwing up.
I just think I look like the Jolly Green Giant sat here right now. Like, if I lean closer, I'd take over the whole screen.
Got a big head.
Those bobbleheads.
Okay, it's good job you don't put your feet up there. Size 15.
Oh,
Jesus, you
so
wouldn't see me in that.
It's a good talking point, and I tell you that much.
I take the point on the dashboard and getting a championship striker, but it's not FIFA all championship manager, is it? They want to come down to League One.
It bloody should be, Matt. All right, Ipswich Town Football Club. They want to come and play for it just for free. But yeah, just yesterday, goal conceded. I've had a back and forth with the fisherman. Now he's on the naughty step still, so I don't know if I'll let him on when he comes. But Janoy Donatian was up against probably the toughest test he's faced so far this year, and wasn't the player we've come to watch over the 90, but particularly for the goal. He's fallen asleep, Matt. And he's in the end, he's marking green grass, which green grass can't score against you.
No, but a striker who made his name at Eastleigh in non-league can, which is what that.
Because he's fallen asleep though. For me, he's ball watched. He's fallen asleep. Yeah. Their guy stayed alive, and that's the difference. There's fine margins, and that's the difference that yesterday. Really,
I'll tell you what buggered it all up was the ball went so high into the air, didn't it? Then Walton's thinking, should I come for that? Then
it's a foul on Walton, by the way.
You thought it was a foul?
He's in the net 5 seconds before that ball goes in the air because he's been shoved into the net. For me, it's a foul on him.
There was a lot of to and fro in the box when they were taking those. It was over by me where that corner was taken. But I just think Walton thought to himself, should I go and get it? Our defence might think to themselves, Walton's going to come and get it. And it somehow ended up in the back of the net. But, you know, I'm talking about a blueprint to beat Ipswich, and it was shown yesterday, but it only works if you do take the minimal amount of chances you're going to get from a McKenna defence, and that's really coming from set pieces, and you have to go in the lead, and that's basically what worked for Lincoln. Because, you know, if we go one up, you ain't going to see that 6 in defence, are you? You're all packing the midfield. But if we go, you've then got to get on the front foot yourself, which is what done for Cambridge. But it worked for Lincoln yesterday. But, you know, that's what they came for. Do we get a half chance from a free kick, a corner? And lo and behold, they score from it.
I nearly had another one. Start the second half. And who was marking that guy again?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. He didn't have a good day yesterday, but, you know, that's one game.
Should
we have had a penalty though, Rich? Because for me, in the Cobbo, the best stand in English football, that is a penalty in the second half, a handball.
I couldn't really see. They should have had a penalty. Luke Wolfenden cleaned out their guy.
No.
Was that the shot that hit their defender, the handball?
I didn't see many people appealing, Martin. You might have been over in the
post. I fucking did. I needed that jumped in the front row, mate.
Can you not see over? You were doing that yesterday, Matt, over there.
After 20 odd years, Richard, my eyes have evolved, so I don't need to do that anymore, my friend.
I can fight with that all the time. Don't get those issues.
It's worth it. It's worth it for the greatest seat in English football. It's honestly worth it. You wouldn't. I mean, I can see things that you two wouldn't dream of seeing in a football field. Evidently, because it was clearly a handball, as long as I got a hole in my backside. And I don't know why it wasn't given.
I'm not talk about it. I've not seen it anywhere on Twitter. I've not seen Kieran talking about it, so obviously it wasn't a penalty.
Obviously not.
That's that 76%. Is that the most in any of the 4 divisions this season?
Possibly.
That's unbelievable to me, that 76.
Means nothing, though. Means absolutely zero.
It just in terms of retaining the ball, it's good. But yeah.
Were you surprised he left Edwards out yesterday when you saw the team news come out?
He was great. Look, I've not been on the show a couple of weeks. I've not been able to say how impressed I am with Edwards, having said that he should go in the summer. I mean, it's like, I don't know, what they put in his cup of tea. I don't know. It's great. I mean, brilliant to see. It's great to see. He's turned into bloody Messi is what's happened. Again, he came on yesterday, didn't he? And he's got such impact. It's brilliant. But then He now has to keep doing that because now, again, for him, we're talking about blueprints. The standard is there now. He can't fall below that anymore. Otherwise, McKee ain't going to see the light of day at Ipswich. He's got to keep that up. But it's great to see.
I think if you look at the team was selected, Martin, that's probably when everyone's fit. That's our full strength team, I'd have thought. At the minute. Well, I think Friday, I think there'll probably be a couple of changes. You know, Burns we're all massive Wes Burns fans. He didn't play well yesterday. The right-hand side of the pitch didn't work for us yesterday. It was all coming down the left-hand side, wasn't it, really, with Leif Davis? And I feel a bit sorry for him, Matt, because you got Burns and Donatian over the other side who work together.
Yes.
Yet Leif, whoever plays that left centre-back, which is Edmondson, he doesn't get forward and support him like Donatian normally does with Burns on the other side.
I disagree with that yesterday, Rich. He kept doing that overlap like Sheffield United used to do. Maybe they still do, I don't know. And they didn't use him. But he was really busting a gut to get down.
He was only a couple of times second half. First half, he didn't get over the halfway line.
He was there. No, first half he was there.
He did. I remember seeing him sprint to join him with the plan.
And no one ever used him.
He's moving quick. Yeah, no, they didn't. You're right.
He's running 50 yards just as a distraction.
We spoke a couple of weeks ago on the Friday show about partnerships and about, you know, you've got to get the right players around the right people. So with the Dapo wingers that maybe put balls into the box for John Jules, maybe players that are more intricate. And I felt yesterday, and maybe you two can tell me a bit more of what you feel. Ladapo should have stayed on because Edwards and Jackson were going to get to the byline, put balls in the box, which they did. Whereas Chaplin and Harness probably worked better with a John Jules, where it's quick thinking, quick feet, 1-2 touch, and you're in behind. It just felt the partnerships that we put together yesterday were just sort of back to front, and it should have been Ladapo with the two wingers and John Jules with the two intricate players.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that particularly. I mean, Chaplin and Harness kept swapping wings, didn't they? The flanks. Maybe so. But I mean, look, they've all had good seasons so far. I mean, Ladapo started getting into the goals, hasn't he, after a slow start? But you know, it's just in isolation in this Lincoln game. It just was a bad day at the office for us. Well, certainly first half. The second half, we did well. And there was certainly no lack of effort. But again, we haven't won the game. Therefore, what do you learn from it? And I think McKenna will learn a lot from it. Maybe those points you're making there, Mike. Maybe those Ladapo with Harness and Chaplin either side isn't as good with John Jules in the middle, or Caden Jackson in the mix somewhere, or whatever it might be.
Let's get a few comments from the live chat. JC, been a huge fan of JD since he got back in the team. One-on-one, he rarely got beaten. But yesterday, he fell asleep and let his man free on the back post. One area he needs to improve. Dan's chuffed for Baggett, getting his first senior goal. Didn't realise that. Congratulations, Elkin. Well done. McSaucepan. Start him over Chappers for me. Chappers hasn't been on it at all recently. Lee Baelish stats mean Jack diddly squid. It's goals that count. Lincoln had 2 on target and won the game. Ben House had a brilliant game, whereas Ladapo struggled some with TJJ. Makes you think, doesn't it? Harps, we need to come out all guns blazing, get the lead instead of being nonchalant and pedestrian. Lewis agrees with AD Croucher. JD's worst game in a town shirt for me. But in fairness, he did take a heavy knock first half. Carl Brooks. Chaplin's quick free kick was the start of a catalogue of errors. Couldn't clear our lines. Not aggressive in both boxes. Again. It's very true. Ian Davis, welcome in, Ian. Big cricket fan, I hear. JD makes a mistake and it was costly. How solid and dependable has he been? We score 3 or 4 and it's forgotten. Good point.
Defensively, we've looked. I know we don't concede many goals.
Suspect.
But we've looked suspect since Sheffield Wednesday, mine. I think that was the start of it.
And you could point maybe to Christian Burgess, not Cameron Burgess. Thank you very much. I did stop myself there.
He's got his mask ready.
The mask of Zorro. Lewis Robinson. Anyone knows how we've changed our approach for corners with Evans and Davis taking out swingers? Seems to work. Yeah, because they listen to Talking Town. You see, I suggested Davis, and within 5 minutes, Lee Davis was having free kick. You know.
There you go.
Listen to the gov. Got no badges, but there we go. Right, Louis, how you doing?
Hi, mate. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Good, man. We didn't see you at the statue yesterday. We missed your opinions. So give it to us now. Town 0, Lincoln 1. Limp in front of goal. You'll get the pun at some point. People will anyway. How do you see it? What are your thoughts and feelings?
Well, it was one of them games, wasn't it? Look, we just first half, was sort of like Morecambe, wasn't it? First half, not really getting the ball moving, not really creating a lot, and then Lincoln, yeah, it was poor defending for that goal. I didn't see. I can't remember who was at fault for the goal. Was it? Do you think? Was it? It was just a defensive. I don't know. Defensive. Mark won it.
Donatian, everyone is saying, I'm going with that.
I was Donatian.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great game, did he, yesterday?
No.
No, I think really second half we played quite well. I think it was just one of them games where just for some reason the ball was just not going to go in the back of the net. I just think at the moment I don't know, maybe it's a little blip for us, but I think I said this to my dad actually yesterday. I feel like this puts a bit of pressure on us now to beat Derby, so we can properly show that we can bounce back from these sort of results, because we did do it against Plymouth, didn't we? We bounced straight back next week against Portsmouth. And we do, you can't fault the effort of these players, Yeah, we didn't score, but they were trying and look.
Yeah.
You do have these games, you just have one of these games as football where just for some reason, it just doesn't go your way. And as much as I hate Lincoln, I'll give him credit. They defended very well. I'll give them that. Even though I hate them that much, they do defend well. But I must say, I think man of the match yesterday was probably Davis, like you said, Crunch. I think him and Harness were probably the two for me that played pretty well. I think I'm not gonna give him too much shit, but I think Ladapo at the moment he's a bit he's a little bit hit and miss. I think at the moment it's the
more
thing.
miss than hit.
I don't think he's been poor, but I think the problem with Ladapo at the moment is he's been so used, hasn't he, to playing in the two up front that you get sort of a different change for a season and you're not used to it, and it's like you got to start playing a little bit different. But he does offer a lot more than I think just goals, where I think sometimes it goes unnoticed with strikers, because you have strikers, aren't you, that even though they don't score that much, they can still offer a lot of bring others into play, hold the ball up, and he does do that. It's just a shame that he's not maybe quite a 20-goal-a-year man, but I do still believe that he will get double digits this year. I think he will get between 10 to 15 goals for us.
Yeah, I've got a point there for Louis about Ladapo. Does he suffer, guys, because he's in and out of the team, where if you're playing week in, week out, you get them sort of partnerships more together, and we do seem to change it on a game-by-game basis, Martin, with them front three.
Yeah,
and I said on the show a while ago, people were raving about how it's a tactical approach for every game. When you win, you love it. When you lose, the first thing you point to is, are we doing it too often, I wonder? And it's coming true, Matt, because I did point it out when in the summer when people were saying that's how McKenna is. And I thought, well, you've got to have some semblance of continuity, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. But when we were looking at these hypothetical things Friday night, weren't we? We said, what happens if we just rest Morsey? But when we lose, everyone will point the fingers. Well, we lost anyway. And everyone's still pointing fingers at certain players. But I agree with what Louis is saying now. I do think the Ladapo does offer you something. But in a game yesterday, he looks like a luxury player because he's not getting the ball. And in the second half, we did play really well. And I agree with you there. And I gave him a clap off the pitch yesterday in terms for the effort. The result, we're disappointed. But for the effort, it was just one of those days. Louis is right. It was one of those days where the ball just wasn't going to go in. We could still be there now. And Adam Jackson would still be blocking them with like karate kicks out for a corner, wouldn't he? It was just one of those games. But to be expected over 46 league games, right? It's just disappointing when it comes along.
I think I said to my dad, I don't think we'll lose. I think it was going to happen eventually. We are going to lose games this year. I mean, I don't think we should be losing more than maybe... I said to my dad yesterday, I don't expect us to lose more than maybe 5 or 6 games maybe this season, because Wigan and Rotherham had 8 losses and 10 losses, I think, and they got top 2 because it was quite tight, weren't it, this year?
Yeah.
And I think,
they still got 90+ points, those two as well.
Yeah.
How many games did they draw though, Matt? Because if you
not many, I don't think.
Winning, if you're winning and you lose, say that Rotherham lost 10 games, but if you're winning the majority of your games, sometimes a loss.
I know what it is. It's 9. They won 27, so it's 9 games that Rotherham drew. Yeah,
Very,
I mean, we've drawn game, but our away form has been better than our home form, I think. I'm not looking at the home and away table to back that up, but if you look at some of the results, Barnsley, the draw, the Bolton draw, yesterday's result, for example, I could have easily drawn Portsmouth.
I think we're 5th in the league for home, and we've got the best away record at the moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right, Louis.
It's not. Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, you carry on. Sorry, you're breaking up my headset.
You look like a giant over Louis up the top there.
You get even closer to the screen.
I told you. I don't know what's wrong with this phone webcam today. I'm literally like a giant. Louis, finish your point, mate. Go on. Sorry.
the thing is, right, look, it's not all doom and gloom, like maybe some fans will be like that. But look, it's one loss. And look, if we bounce back against Derby, look, we bounce back and it's a lot better again. Look, this is where, we showed against Plymouth, the character is tested. You know, this is where you learn a lot more about a team, is how you bounce back from losses. You know, you learn more from that than you will from wins. And if we bounce back against Derby on Friday, then yeah, it's all good. And I think we will, I think we will bounce back against Derby, because honestly, I think he's going to change it again. Really, he will. But look, I think we can do. I think the team we've got, we can beat Derby, because they're not exactly maybe what people thought they would be. Maybe this season they were.
Fair enough.
Be a different style game, won't it? It'll be a different style game. Certainly, they certainly won't be coming just to see if they can get a point.
No, they'll try
and stand toe to toe with us. Whether that's going to work for them, I don't know. It'll be a different game. But I agree with what you said earlier. The pressure to win that game is quite big now.
It is, yeah. But yeah,
Louis, appreciate you coming on. Look
Cheers,
after yourself. Hope to see you Friday night. I'm a bit concerned about Derby, Rich.
Are you?
Yeah, it's on Sky. They've got Paul Warne. No, they've got Paul Warne now in charge, who is League One's Superman in terms of getting teams playing, performing. They found a striker, it appears, looking at the highlights out of nowhere, that Ronnie Jackson thinks he should definitely get a run of games. And it's just, I don't know, I've got a little bit of a fin in the pit of my stomach saying this could possibly be 2 home defeats in a row.
But then the week before they lost to Port Vale, so I wouldn't get too carried away. We're not playing Real Madrid here. We're playing Derby County at home. We're at home. It's on our patch.
Yeah,
Friday night, and I agree totally with what you're saying there, Matt. They're not going to come and park the bus.
I don't think they will.
If they come and play football, I've said it on here before. 99 times out of 100, if a team tries to play us at football, you get refereeing decisions, whatever, we will beat teams because we're better than them. Yeah. And I'm expecting a massive reaction Friday night, Gov. First 20, 25 minutes, we should be absolutely flying out the blocks. And if we don't, there's something wrong.
I mean, yesterday, Stat Accurate Stanley, who Derby beat 3-0 away from home, did have 2 penalties, both missed, which, says its own story. Yeah. Apparently, it was only his third or fourth penalties ever taken in his life, I thought I heard on the EFL highlights last night.
They've got this 19-year-old who scored, isn't it? Asula? William Asula? 19 years old.
Is he the one from Sheffield United on loan?
Yes, I think it is, yes.
We were linked with him before we signed Hadme, I think.
Yeah, is it?
Didn't it? Yeah. I just wonder, before I bring Lee Anderson in, the guy who's got the bird's eye view from the Cerber Robson stand, I wonder, you say they're not going to come here and park the bus. Why would they not come and park the bus? Because everybody, and I mean everybody, not one team in this league is thinking a point at Ipswich Town is a bad point. Why would you come and really force the issue on more?
They're 10 points behind second place already. So if they wanted to get in the top 2, I know it's only 14 games in. I think they've got 2 games in hand over us.
Yeah.
3 points. They've got some good footballers. They've got some good footballers in their team, Derby. I can't see where they're just going to come and try and stifle us.
I do that. That's not Warren's style either, is it? Warren's style isn't that. And like you say, he's like the League One Superman. He's won silverware in this division. I don't think he will come to Pullman Road and sit back like we saw yesterday. But who knows? They might.
I just think why would you not, when the blueprint is clear and obvious? If you come and try and play Ipswich at their own game, you are going to get beat 99.9% of the time. If you come and say, beat me, come and beat me, Ipswich Town Football Club at the moment struggles with beating a side. Cambridge, for example, held out for a long, long time. They got that bit of luck when against them, then the floodgates opened. I would be tempted, regardless of who I manage, to just say,
well, that's an interesting point, because you see the result. Yes, the Accrington game yesterday, Accrington had 55% possession and Derby had 45%. So maybe they did soak up a bit of pressure and did it on the counter attack. I mean, but in order to do, as we said earlier, in order to do that, you've got to score first. Do you know what I mean? In order to hold that lead, because it allows too many avenues for Ipswich to get on the front foot, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, one of Osula's goals is a clear blueprint of just put the ball over the top and asking it because he's got lightning pace by the look of it. Yeah. So it's an interesting game.
What Rotherham did to us last year, wasn't it? The 2-0 game at Pullman Road.
Do you start Freddie against his old manager? Clearly had some, back and forth there during his time at Rotherham. Is there a point to prove? I would follow the Mick McCarthy rule of old team, old manager in this case, I'd play him. I'd say, go on then, go and prove.
Is that
your
too old
point.
school thinking for McKenna's data sets? I don't know.
Possibly.
There's something to be said for that. Absolutely, I think.
You have to
there was
take
an
into
issue.
account as well. We're playing Tuesday night, and we can't change the whole 11 because the rules of that competition.
Well, it's only a fine. I'm sure Game Changer 20 could find us that's the spare 50 grand or whatever it is down the back of the sofa. You know, I'm pretty
Someone
sure they
mentioned Kamara there in the comments. Is he now back fit and
Yeah,
ready?
I reckon he'll play Tuesday.
Oh, brilliant.
On the
Okay.
glass. He'll give you another dimension in midfield.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's forgotten about him. Absolutely.
All right. Lee, how'd you see it from the
All right,
the SBR? How'd you see it from them, my man?
Afternoon, all.
How you doing?
Pretty much as it's been said at the start, really, first 20 minutes, we were dreadful, weren't we? We were really, to say dreadful, we were really slow. But they did press us higher first half and second. They sat a lot back a lot further second half, I think, to give us that ball. And they had the 3 centre half second half, lined up along the 6-yard box and just kept everything out.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of opportunity first 20 minutes where Walton gets the ball. We've gone back to where we were when McKenna first took over, where Walton gets the ball and we're not feeding the ball out quick enough. We needed that second half. It all starts from Walton. You know, with he standing on the ball too long. Get the ball out, move it quickly, and get the ball up the pitch. And we had loads of opportunities yesterday from where I was sitting, where you've got Morsey and Evans, where they can just turn. Someone just tells them to turn. They've got 10, 15 yards behind them to run into. And we didn't do that. And if you don't break that line, then you're just going to be passing around the back too much. So it wasn't that they set up to allow us to turn and play in behind there. So if it was me, that's something that I would look at for McKenna to look at and point out first 20 minutes where I think Crunchy said to be brave on the ball, where we could turn and break through there. And if you lose the ball there, you've still got your centre backs in place to be able to maybe cover that. But that was the first disappointing bit for me. And then they go score from nothing. And listening to you guys chatting about, our Achilles heel is set plays. Well, I mean, it is because that's where we're scoring from. But we're not being carved open in open play. So we have to concede goals somewhere. Not saying that, we want to, but it just seems to be from scrappy goals because actually in open play, we're probably defending quite well.
Yeah.
So, although it's a negative and you can improve on that, that's where the teams are going to score against us somewhere along the line. It's just good that we're not being carved open. But you mentioned Burns earlier, and I think with Edwards now fit, you can see a scenario where Edwards could come in for Burns. Now, Burns does get the ball quite a bit. We've got that switch over to the right, but teams have sussed that. And Burns in a tight situation isn't. He
plays better on the left, Lee. He plays better on the left, cutting in.
Who does?
Right.
Well,
Kyle Edwards plays better on the
left.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about Burns when he came on against Cambridge. There was a lot of time. Cambridge left Burns out wide, and they knew if they're sitting deep, Burns' danger is his pacing behind. But he doesn't beat a player both ways the same as Edwards can do. So for me, I think it's the other. If you're looking for Burns and Edwards as an example, you want Burns on at the start, Edwards on at the start of the game because he can break those lines and he can break those teams down. You get the goal up, and then you bring someone like Burns on when they're pushing up and you've got that ball in behind. A bit like what Jackson did yesterday. I was a bit sceptical about Jackson coming on, but he got away 3 or 4 times, I think, down the right hand side. And again, Jackson is so quick that we can't get enough players in the box. And I think you mentioned that, Rich, earlier on, that when Jackson was crossing those balls in, he was trying to find John Gills, but he was the only one there. There wasn't Morsey or Evans or anybody else getting in at the back stick or anything. So there was only that one in the box. Well, when you're playing 3 against 1, you've got 3 centre backs who are lined up along that 6-yard box to clear that out, and they did. Credit to them, they cleared everything. But it was at those times there's one ball across the box, and you're just thinking about, is that Carl Edwards? Should he, when he was on, should he have been poaching on that 6-yard box? I I mean, or even Davis coming in towards the end, who I thought was fantastic second half. He was what we want and such like. So, you know, it was getting players in the box towards the end. And the point I made about Chapman earlier was, yeah, he didn't get in the box first half, but we didn't get in the box, did we? We didn't have that same pressure. But when that ball's pinging around in the box, out of all our team, who would you want that to fall to at the moment? You'd want it to fall to Chapman.
Yeah.
Chaplin, I think. So that was the point I was making. Yeah, he didn't have a great game first half. No one did. But
he's good at them two-touch finishes, isn't he, Lee, in the box? Just around the box, it just touch, bang, goal.
Yeah, but that just that one from Edwards yesterday where he sat two players on their backside. And then the third, I'm sitting there thinking, go on. And then when he should take the shot, I'm thinking that's going to go to the goalkeeper's left. And we've just seen one of the goals of the season without doubt. And then the other guy, so he beat two of the centre-backs, but there was a third one there or whatever to come in and block that. So that was unfortunate. But we knocked at the door, and I'd be more concerned if we didn't create all those chances and have all that play in the box. If we were like, you know, we had at times under Cook and certainly under Lambert where we didn't, where we went a goal behind and we had no set plays or we had nothing that looked like we were going to score. I mean, we banged at the door really, really hard yesterday, didn't we? Yeah. So that was my thing to take away from that. And I was quite confident at half time because they had nothing really. They sat back a lot deeper second half and allowed us to have that ball. And, you know, we just couldn't break it. We just didn't break them down. But
beauty of the lead, isn't it? Yeah.
Pardon?
It's the beauty of having that one goal lead, isn't it? That is such a plus point for your opposition at Bournemouth Road to take it. That's
even
why
at 0-0.
Yeah,
even at 0-0, they'd have been hanging on. But and they had more to. Did they have more to hang on to? I don't know if it's more because I think if you 1-0 up, you've still got the thought of, well, actually, even if they scored, we would still settle for a draw at the start. I think it's Cambridge would deflate because they were going to have nothing, as well. Lincoln had, you know, two things, but you know, they had a bit there. But
I'm always upset when the first goal goes in because most games finish in 1-0. Most games has been scientifically data proven by the Athletic finish in 1-0. So I'm always,
alarm
balls.
Jake makes a really good point there, Jake from Lincoln in the chat. Yeah, they had two great chances at the start of that second half to go 2-0 up. They had the header that hit the post and then the shot that wasn't saved. So
yeah, they did. But then on our side of the field, Brandon has a great point up in the chat where he says, fair play. I've lost it, but he says back on the lines of, you know, Lincoln did defend well, but they were defending the exact same build-up, Lee, and attack on repeat. It was like watching the same clips on repeat. Every attack was built up the same. It was repeat. We didn't vary it. We didn't change it. We gave them no new questions when they clearly had the answers to the test that we were giving them.
I think going back to the guy from Lincoln, and it was quite an open start to the second half. And they had that sort of 5-minute spell where actually that was probably the only time in the game that they really had the pressure and deserved the goal. But some of that was the openness that we played. And, you know, we talk about starting the first half really, really quickly. We did it second half, but we nearly got caught out. So there's a balance to be had there between going gun-ho and getting that early goal, because teams can break on us because we play such expansive football. We have so many players in wide areas, both sides of the pitch. If we lose that ball, we're so suspect to the counter attack. And
Lincoln, Wolfenden was playing on the halfway line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's where he was playing. Same as Cambridge at home, playing high up.
Yeah, and that looked like the only time that we really looked like penetrating them first half through the middle was when Edmondson or Wolfie brings the ball out to make that extra player in the midfield. So that nearly catches teams out. It's worked for us before, and it nearly worked for us, again to get up the pitch. But it's one of those games. We'll be okay. We'll be fine. Honest.
Perfect. Lee, you're fine. We love you. Look after yourself as always. Give us away from the old Bobby Robson stand next time you're there.
I forget where you are, mate, because I think you're sitting down so much. I can't really see where you are now.
You're bloody right, I am. Pay for that seat. I'm not going to stand up, am I? I mean, good Lord. But look after yourself.
Yes, cheers, guys.
Look after yourself. Don't forget, we've got merchandise favourite Talking Town. If you're into your merchandise, head to the store, shop.talkingtown.co.uk. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's not a bad little store. We'll have some more lines to it as we go towards Crimbo. If you've got any ideas, do let me know. Handleless mugs is something that Mike D suggested.
Beanie hats for the winter.
You and your flipping hat, man. Get a
Winter's
decent
coming.
haircut. Get a
Winter's
decent
coming.
haircut, and you won't want to cover it up, would you?
Winter's coming, boys.
But as somebody told me, my forehead's getting quite big, apparently.
Getting further back.
It was you, actually, wasn't it, you cheeky? It was you on Friday. I just remembered who it was. It was you. Yes, it was. Yes, Louis Fenton, unpopular opinion. Should we go for Stockton? No, we should go for Eddie Harrison. 7 goals, Rich.
Score again yesterday?
I think he did.
Yeah,
Are we still paying the instalments on that car?
I don't know. I won this 1 goal against Sheffield United. That was a good goal, wasn't it?
They got that.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then top corner, but he was in the banter era as well.
Yeah, but he was unfairly treated. I think he was a decent
player,
he was.
But talking about banter era, Caden Jackson, is he a better right winger before I bring Stephen Parry in than a centre forward? Because I'm really quite excited when he comes on the pitch as a right winger because he has some
see him
joy.
playing down the middle much. He's either plays on the left or on the right, and you're probably right. And he's another one. You could see him starting maybe Friday, Martin.
And I wouldn't be upset though. That's the thing. I quite enjoy watching Caden Jackson as a right winger go to work on a left back that clearly can't contain his pace.
Got the pace, yeah. If you've got the pace, then it's exciting, isn't it? That's
like Lee said, Matt. Sometimes he's too quick for our players to keep up with him. With them crosses he fires in.
Well, that was interesting what Brandon said there. He thought it was a bit too repetitive. But the fact that Lincoln was sort of defending on the 6-yard box, I think you can get away with that. But it's in the terms of the delivery into the box, isn't it? And how does it fall? And you've got to have the bodies in there to be able to capitalise on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. Sometimes Jackson maybe is just too quick.
We scored a header from across this season.
Just was Edmondson's goal at Morecambe a header last week?
No, it was a volley.
That was a volley. Oh yeah,
we won't score many headers from crosses this season.
No,
well, you haven't got Jay Tab anymore. Yeah.
What a goal that was! What a silky football that was against Middlesbrough that day.
Smallest bloke on the pitch pops up.
Teddy was good then. Teddy was in the away end yesterday, Matt. I see on Instagram.
Why would people be upset about that? He's employed by Lincoln. He's not going to upset.
Who's upset?
No, but there was people online that were upset that he was taking the. Exactly. They pay his wages. Do you know what I mean? That's like Yeah, I agree. I was just a bit surprised people were a little bit.
Careful on the hamstring, Teddy, when you're jumping up when you scored. Oh,
do you think Mark Kennedy had come with them tactics with a little bit of what he's learned from? People don't understand that. Explain to everyone what that means.
That's that big. Do you remember the mic used to drop down?
Yeah, it's a wrestling.
Mr. Kennedy, Ken Kennedy.
Considering like Kennedy got his, I'm going to start laughing every time I say that. He got his managerial break under McCarthy. It was very much a McCarthy defensive performance, I thought.
Kev Kesgrave has come up with the banter era signing. Josh Sargent in January. I don't think so. We've got Ed Sheeran, Kev. Louis Fenton Jackson, I think, will play Friday. He's playing better out wide now. I think if he starts, he'll hurt Derby's back line with pace.
I do think I was going to say while he was on, I don't know if you noticed it. This was over on our side, Rich. In about the first 5 minutes, Burns went in for a really big tackle on one of their players. He was rubbing his knee for he literally went in like inside the first 5 minutes and was rubbing his knee for a while after.
He's had a bit of a groin. That's why he didn't start.
I just wonder if he jarred.
Is he 100% fit? Yeah, has he got the World Cup on his mind, Matt? You know, you're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Well, play Caden Jackson. Or play Edwards. I'd play either. I'd play both wings with Ladapo in the middle.
Nice to have the luxury of both, isn't it?
And I just, would sit back and enjoy Ipswich Town Football Club. Stephen, how is it north of the northern part of the country? That's where you are.
My computer, so you'll have to put up with this for now.
All right. Well, be quick then, because I can't have you on too long, because otherwise the audio listeners will complain.
Right. At the end of the day, I thought it was pretty similar to Morecambe. It's just we got to get a jail-free card against Morecambe because we had a bit of luck against Morecambe. It seemed for the last two games,
This is like that old radio commentary when it's like the World Cup in Mexico.
Like 5 Live when you can't get the signal.
It seemed to me for the last 2 games we were I'm getting a new microphone anyway, so that will help. It seemed to me for the last 2 games we've been reactive to what they did. You can't be reactive. You have to go out there, like Rich said. You have to go out there pretending you're going to win from minute one, no matter who you're playing. Whether it's Morecambe, whether it's Lincoln, whether it's Derby, Sheffield Wednesday, or Man City. If you go, I think fans have been part of that. Be included. And I think that feeds to the players as well. They think, oh, well, it's only Lincoln. Oh, it's only Morecambe. We don't have to put 100% into this. You know, let's leave 100% for when we play Derby, when we play Sheffield Wednesday. Well, that's disrespectful. And Morecambe will bite you on the arse, and Lee Anderson, shut up. And they will bite you on the arse. I look like Saints and Greens. Anyway, well, one of them.
Yeah, great shine. What a shine.
Stephen Parry live from the Bescott Stadium.
Well, all I'm saying is that
Walsall 1, Coventry 0.
People are going on about strikers. Sometimes you just need a little bit of luck. You just need to make your own luck. Against Cambridge, it was a deflected cross that went to TVJ. You know, it didn't happen yesterday. Doesn't mean our strikers are bad. Doesn't mean they can't score. You know, Chaplin had one that he had first touch was perfect, and then he just scuffed his second touch, and he fell over. You know, Harness had one. It was just a little. He was just leaning over a little bit, and he scooped it over. The shot from Davis when it was crossed in, you know, that took a deflection and took it over. You know, we had chances. On another day, those go in. It didn't. But the point of it is, if you're reacting to going a goal behind, they're always going to have the whip hand because they know you've got to score at least 2. For them to lose anything, you've got to get 2. So we've got to start saying, look, we've got to go in this.
One giant step for man, says Ian Davis.
I'll just go on my phone. I've got more processing power on my phone. I'll go on my phone and let go get seasick. I'm not bothered. I've got my iPhone here. I can go on that.
Stephen, I love you. I appreciate you, but I'm going to have to let you go.
Is, let's just calm it all down. Yeah.
Yes.
They got a goal and they defended for a match. And credit to them. To be honest, for me, Jackson of Lincoln should be man of the match, not any Ipswich Town player, because he was bloody awesome.
Who?
Jackson from Lincoln. That centre back from Lincoln. He was absolutely bloody awesome, and he deserves man of the match. And I'll say that as an Ipswich fan.
I'm
great. Yeah, agreed.
I'm a town.
Because if it worked for him, they'd have lost. They'd have lost that game if it worked for him.
Yeah.
With any other player, they'd have lost.
Fair point. I'm
I'm
at that point now.
I know it's stressing you all out.
No, all right, Steve. Look after yourself.
Enjoy the FPAs as well when you come up. Get yourself down to Gay Village.
Neil Armstrong, man of the match.
Neil Armstrong, man of the match.
Live from the Azteca Stadium, Matt. Was it Peter Jones used to do the commentary, didn't he?
He used to dial in, didn't they? Back in the day. Yeah,
I'm at that point where I've just kind of got to double down on Friday's Lincoln theory. So I mean, I can't backtrack now. Like I've just got to double down on the opinion, and just own the fact that we got beat.
We did say Friday night Lincoln could be the tougher of the two matches.
Yeah, I did.
For those very reasons. But maybe no proof. I'm not too bothered about Derby. I do feel like they're going to try and come and play against us, and I think we'll beat them.
Oh, don't have a gut moment.
In our all black strip, everybody.
There you go, Richard Chandler.
Hello, guys.
Richard Chandler, you got those 2 shirts bought yet? Because it's looking like you are going to be well out of it, my man.
No, because come on, if we have 30 shots in a game, any other game this season, we probably score 5 goals. That's never happening twice.
Yeah, but did the keeper get his shorts dirty, Rich? Like we had 30 shots, but
I don't know. He got a bit of a calf strain or something, didn't he? At one point,
that was when he went down. I'm thinking there was no one near him. Was there a sniper in the crowd? Oh, fucking hell! And then he proceeded to get up and smashed the goal kick about 70 yards down the field. I thought,
he started
earlier, you were fucking.
What was he doing throwing the ball?
He was throwing it. I think he was.
Didn't he?
Kept throwing it.
Played a fair with that sort of arm. I mean, it was a rocket of an arm, really. Great work, really.
I think it was a legit injury. That's why he kept throwing the ball out. You very rarely see that these days.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think Crunch is right. The first one after he'd been down, he went and launched it, and it went like 80 yards.
It's a miracle.
Yeah. He recovered quickly.
What's your point, Chandler? Come on, son, because you're going to get those 2 shirts bought. But come on.
My point is, I think there's far too much negativity. We're going to win top 2 this season, and we're going to win a lot more games than we lose. We're going to lose 8 games, 10 games most this season. When Plymouth got 107 points in League One and won the title, they lost 6 that season. Do you think their fans would have been killing them after 2 losses? No,
I agree.
And we completely dominated possession yesterday. Yeah. It may not have been the prettiest game of football in the world, but how many times do our fullbacks, wing-backs get past the opposition and pull the ball back and it just doesn't fall for us? It gets blocked, it gets whatever. That doesn't happen 2 games on the trot. And Lincoln defended bloody well. Is the other they did?
Yeah, different mentality though, isn't it, Richard? Between us and Plymouth, like Plymouth are enjoying the ride, top of the table, not expected to be top of the table. We've got the biggest budget in the division, or one of the biggest budgets in the division. You know, games like yesterday aren't supposed to happen.
No, they're not. But we're not going to win every game either. And there is going to be an element, like it's been said a few times in here, there's going to be a lot of teams in the bottom 15 probably places of the league that come to defend and come and try and just put 10 men behind the ball, hope they can snatch something. And they snatch something. I think there's an element of...
It went before the game, Nick.
Nick, where was my flapjack?
No one cares about you, Matt, all right? You're like Ringo Starr and the Beatles, mate. No one really recognises that you should be there. You're just here.
Rock and roll's best drummer.
Was it George Harrison that nobody reckons they should be there? Either way, they look at you, Matt, and they say, "Oh, it's nice that they brought him along."
I like Ringo.
I see your little face. I did see your little face when he gave me it, and I could see it going around in your head. There's a little speech bubble.
I had to give a little bit to my nan first, just as a taste tester, just to ensure there was nothing.
Ringo wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles.
There you go. I mean, but Matt has got a single out, everybody. If you want to go and check out on YouTube, Go Station, Head for the Sun, go and give it some love.
Have you heard that, Rich? Christmas telly.
You'll hear it soon.
You'll hear it all over Talking Town at Christmas because
I think I paid for the rights of it.
I think Martin uses it because he doesn't have to pay PRS.
It's true. And it's got a nice little, trumpet intro.
I like it.
Yeah, the trumpets.
It's got that jumper.
Yeah.
I've got to think of some kind of intro. I've got to think of something you can record as an intro to do with two shirts, but I can't come up with anything just yet.
Right said Fred comes to mind, I reckon. Something along those lines.
Let's not get on the talk about high foreheads.
Deeply dippy.
Sorry?
Deeply dippy.
Right, so Fred, good song, wasn't it?
Right, so,
have you seen this? Look, the Arsenal Leeds game's been stopped and delayed for an hour as the officials cannot communicate with VAR.
Oh,
that's a shame, isn't it? I mean, oh my days, football can't go.
I know.
When does it communicate with VAR? It appears to never communicate rightly with VAR.
We could have done with VAR at some point yesterday. Did anyone see the guy practically wrestle George Edmondson on the halfway line and get away with it?
Yeah.
And in the box at every corner. Like, you've got to start clamping down on that sort of,
It only takes one ref to give a penalty for something like that, and that stops. But they just don't do it.
They did do that, didn't they? At the start of a season, they were going to clamp. These rules, Rich, they were around for about 5 or 6 games, and it just goes back to.
Then it comes down to your individual interpretation of what's happening. Yeah.
This comes back down to my Ipswich Town at the heart of every historic moment, because I've only ever seen one player penalised and penalty conceded for that action, and that was Jonas Knutson at bloody Reading.
Yeah,
and that's the only time I've ever seen a referee ever give that for what he was giving it for, and never before, never afterwards.
They always do that thing of blowing the whistle, going over and talking to about 8 players at the same time, and then walk away and then watch it happen 2 seconds later and just let it go. It's like, what?
It's nonsense. But Richard, you are right. Calm down, chill out. Not a first defeat, but a defeat is not the end of the world. We will learn from it. We'll bounce back from it. But are you still, before I let you go, you still confident of your bet, or are you really starting to get a bit nervy now? We're in November nearly.
No, I'm confident. It's fine, because there was a point yesterday when it looked like Edmonton was going to get 2 games on the trot, and then Cruncher would suddenly start panicking because we start scoring from set pieces.
I don't think I'm going to be that concerned if George Edmonton scores a couple of goals. He's not.
I can see. I can
see in the 12 for 10, Rich. Because you did say Luke Wolford to get 10.
I did, but it doesn't matter who gets them. He ain't getting 10.
There we go.
Schooling now, Gov.
There we go. Richard.
7 will get 10.
We appreciate you coming on and appreciate your support as the Talking Town 5th Stander. So look after yourself. Thanks ever so much. An hour and 5 into the show. I'm kind of out of time. I am going to be honest. I've got a beef casserole this afternoon. I've got to go and prepare. What are you two having for your Sunday dinners?
I don't know, because I'm home alone. I'm having Liverpool versus Man City on the box. That's what I'm having.
4:30.
Yeah,
we had, because we'd lost yesterday, Lizzie cheered me up with ham, egg and chips for dinner. That was nice.
Tell you what.
What are you, 12?
McDonald's are doing Monopoly, Matt. You know Monopoly?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get your free. The one as you go out towards Sainsbury's, the McDonald's there.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. You go through the drive-through. You say, "I've got a voucher for so and so. I've got a voucher for so and so." They're supposed to take the vouchers off you. Twice I've gone through there. I've got the free food, and I've still got the vouchers in my car.
I perhaps wouldn't say that out loud, but
it runs out on Wednesday. Don't worry.
I've got Mayfair. If anybody's got Park Lane, we could team up.
You're not winning anything on them. You're not
£50,000. If you've got Park Lane, I've got Mayfair. We can go. We can go 30 grand for me, 20 grand for you.
It's those kind of splits is why we didn't see Joshua Fury.
Exactly. I've learned from the.
Did you watch the boxing last night, Matt? Quickly.
Which one are you talking about? Don't spoil it for me.
Yeah, the one at the O2.
Yes, I did. Clarissa Shields. Good fight.
I was surprised you didn't do a show on it. Why you didn't clearly?
Well, my idea was we were going to do the show leading into all of that for the new bank thing, but of course that fell off, didn't it? So there we go.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Richard Chandler, hat-trick for Haaland today in the Man City game. John Warren, what about the rest stopping the game for cramp? I thought it was a serious injury only. Cramp in October. That was really something.
The goalkeeper's injured, right? Any other player has to go off the pitch.
Yes.
Not the goalie. No, I know. I used to do it myself on a Sunday morning. Oh, I've got cramp. That's because people say, "Oh, the referee stops to watch," but it's not the time necessarily that you're doing it for. It's the flow of the game. It's just to take the sting
out things.
Yeah, you slow them down. You take them out of there of the weather current of adrenaline and all of that sort of jazz and the flow of the game. It's very wise.
Did you both? You both had Davis as man of the match? Did you yesterday?
Yeah,
he did play. I personally had Morsey. And it goes back to the point we made Friday. What happens when he does have to miss a game?
That's nonsense.
He takes such great responsibility on the ball. Give me the ball. He's desperate to get things moving, and it all goes through him. That's my worry when he's not going to be playing.
You got Kamara. Don't worry. Wait till you see him.
Let's wait until we see him. Absolutely. I mean, that'd be fantastic. If
you think yesterday, what would you give Davis out of 10? 7?
7, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you've got the rest of them, Martin. When you're getting people who are 5s and 6s, you can carry a couple of people, but there was too many people getting 5s and 6s yesterday to get a result out of that game.
Yeah,
right. You're right. I love Davis, but I've always gone on record. You're not going to get promoted on the back of a left back. You want your best player yesterday to have been your striker or your goal scoring midfielder, which is where Morsey kind of. I like Morsey. I love Sam Morsey. He's the glue of the team. He makes things tick. But as an attacking midfielder, a Tommy Miller-esque, he ain't it.
He's not got the pace.
It was against Preston when Paul Gallagher went in goal.
Yes, it was. So hopefully Colin will join me tomorrow on tomorrow's show. We'll hear from Colin. We heard from yesterday, obviously, but hopefully he'll join us on tomorrow's show. Because I do want to give Colin a good amount of time to have his say, have his opinion aired.
Fisherman was chomping at the bit.
Yeah, the Fisherman hopefully may, come on tomorrow.
Hey, big shout out to Tim from Botswana coming to see us yesterday.
Yes.
He's at the Abbey. He's doing 3 games this week.
Fantastic.
It was great seeing lots of people yesterday say hello and stop and chat.
And next time you're over, Mark Dowling, please let me know because I'm going to have 1-0 to the opposition. I'm going to have 100 quid on.
Yeah, big shout out to Mark. Like he said, he'd spent the equivalent of a season coming over for that one game. So big shout out to him. Well, that's great support.
Yeah, absolutely. We're live again tomorrow, 8:30. Owen and George will be joining me. If you've got any comments, any talking points, any agenda items, yes, back from his holiday, I believe. So let me know. If you want anything discussed, let me know. More than come on the show as well. 8:30 live tomorrow. Got SIL. If you're into your local football on Trimley's YouTube channel tomorrow, 7:15 live. There's the SIL weekly review.
FA Cup draw tomorrow night. Who do we want?
Needham Market is in the draw. I want Needham.
Who do we want? Chelmsford City, Matt. Colville, Merthyr Town.
Yeah, brilliant. I love all this. Up the Clarence.
What about Colville yesterday, Martin? Colville, who beat Sudbury last round. They played Notts County atop of the National League away. And Colville's captain couldn't play because he had a family holiday booked in the Canary Islands. So he's in sunnier climes, and they turn him over 3-2. What a win!
Wow,
brilliant!
There you go. I want a home tie. I don't care who we get. I want a home tie. Simple. Boom.
Oh, we'll be in Section B again in the Magnus stand, guys.
The Gov does not do away days. I do not like playing away. It's as simple as that. To nick a Soccer AM phrase, but reverse it. I do not like playing away.
Are you two going Friday? I heard a rumour you're both not attending.
I probably will. I probably will attend, actually.
Yeah.
TBC.
Why would it be TBC?
It's not till Friday, is it? And it's on Sky, so I'm leaning towards the telly.
There you go.
What are you? Why?
There you go.
I don't have your disposable income, Rich.
No one does, to be fair. No one does.
Nando's Friday, and then I'm meeting Tim from Botswana in the fan zone.
Oh, brilliant.
He's in there. Anyway, shout out to the Town fans yesterday and the Lincoln fans for a brilliant minute's applause for John Duncan.
Yes.
Well done.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great
Well
chat.
said. Well said. Yeah. Hit the like button, subscribe, come on YouTube to fifth time today. The QR code is there to scan or go to YouTube, join button. But here's the Media Mogul Matt Phillips back on the platform. Here's the Cruncher, Richard Moss, Planet Blue's #1 customer. I'm not on a Sunday, you know. Actually, before I go, I had people stop me yesterday and say, "Is everything okay with Matt? We've missed him on the show." And I was deadly shocked. I said, "What? You've missed him?" People don't know.
I'm not shocked.
Mrs. Phillips.
It wasn't.
I'm not shocked. I paid them. That's why I can't afford the train up Friday.
I was honestly, I did say to him, look, honestly, that is not something I often hear.
No.
Something I often hear is,
Rarely, no.
why is that clown on the platform? He'll bring you down. I
Get
don't
him
often
gone.
hear why.
That guy gone.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, I'm off to clean up dog sick.
And I'm off to put a beef stew on. I am the Gov. Here's the Cruncher. These are the Medium. We are FCA 2022 finalists once again. Some don't get nominated once. We've got it twice. Thank you ever so much to the lovely people at home. But until tomorrow, 8:30, with love, with care. That was a much needed therapy session. I really need it.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.